Hey everyone, today we have a very special guest here. We have Sean Misa. He is one of our Creative Biz Launch students. And today I'm just going to have a raw, unfiltered conversation with Sean about his experience in the program, where he was before it, where he's at now. So, Sean, thank you for being here. Why don't we have you start by just kind of walking through your creative journey and about who you are, how long you've been growing your company, what your niche is, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, so my name is Sean Misa, and I'm based over in the Seattle, Washington area. And I run Misa Hungry Media. And what we do is we specialize in the food and beverage product CPG brands, and then we take photos and videos for all these brands. And yeah, I've been doing this one since about 2020. I had to make the pivot from doing cinematic wedding videography to this because during that time, when COVID happened,
Mhm.
I had to go ahead and make a pivot. I wanted to do something still in the creative field, and then I just started playing around with food photography, and then that one just ended up growing, and then I fell in love with it, and I wanted to go ahead and pursue it full time, and that's kind of pretty much what I've been trying to do this whole time, and it's been really great.
Yeah, I love that. I've heard that a lot of people like during the COVID era switched from weddings to product photography or brand photography. So it's great they were able to make that transition as well. I'm also a food and beverage CPG photographer, so it's always fun to meet like-minded creatives in the field. How about so you're doing this full time right now? I guess we've been working together for about a year now. You joined the program. I think it was like last November, last December. Thinking back to before Creative Biz Launch, what do you think were the like top three problems or frustrations you had on like the business side of running your company?
Yeah, so prior to Creative Biz Launch, some of my main issues were trying to find new clients. I didn't know exactly like how to find the right contact person and also trying to reach out to them. I didn't know how to pitch them. I didn't know what to say to them. I didn't know how often I should reply to them. And mainly that was just like my biggest part, trying to find those clients and trying to also refine, I guess, my workflow and my business operations.
Hmm. Yeah. And so like after like throughout the program over the past year, what have you implemented that's really helped you with both like pitching to clients and like updating your workflow?
Yeah, so since joining this one, I've used Apollo, and that has been a really game changer
Mm.
just because that's been able to help me find the right person to contact. And then also what helps me in terms of like trying to schedule out them. So that way I could just create all these templates and then it'll automatically do the follow-up. So that way I don't have to constantly keep remembering to follow up on these people. And that's been really helpful. Another one that I've been implementing is the goal to 100 no's. So
Mm.
instead of trying to perceive it as like, oh, I reached out to them, I'm waiting for their response, I'm reaching out to them, waiting for their response, and I'm like, okay, I got three yeses. Instead of seeing it as like only three successes, now I'm trying to view it as like reaching for the no's. I'm trying to get to those 100 no's. And it's actually taken me a little bit longer than I thought. Like even though I'm still reaching out to all these people and waiting, or I'm doing all
Hmm.
these follow-ups, I'm still underneath like the 10 no's because during those 10 no's, I actually had a few yeses. So that's been really nice to hear as well. Just because like, okay, I'm trying to get to the 100 no's, but I'm getting these yeses that are kind of like, I guess, an obstacle in a way, but
Hmm.
it's a good obstacle.
Yeah, for anyone that doesn't know, inside like the program, we teach a lot of outreach, and instead of framing it as like getting rejected by brands, we frame it as like our goal is to get 100 no's as fast as possible. And we do this like kind of mindset shift so that when you do get rejected, you don't feel bad about it. Like our goal is to do as much outreach as possible and actually get rejected. And if we frame it this way in our mind, every time we get a yes, it just feels that much better. So this is like a really powerful framework to kind of like dealing with rejection, kind of like flipping the script around this. And we teach like a lot of business systems in the program, but I think like a lot of the mindset stuff is, at least for me, when I started going down this path, like I had a lot of trouble with like the mindset of doing sales as a creative because I'm like introverted. So I came up with like this get to 100 no's as fast as possible strategy. And I'm glad that you've kind of resonated with that as well, which is awesome to hear. So tell me more like with like the outreach that you've been doing, I know like with the program you started doing more and more outreach. Before Creative Biz Launch, what were your main ways to kind of land clients? Because you've got a incredible portfolio and a pretty decent like client list as well. So what were you doing before the program to kind of land those clients?
Prior to this one, in terms of trying to land the clients, I was trying to build up my SEO on my website. And that has still helped me, and it's still something that's really beneficial and something I still recommend other people to do. But yeah, I was mainly relying on that. I was trying to post consistently on Instagram. Was trying to post something like every day, but then that got a little bit tiring. I almost got burnt out from that one. And then what else have I tried? I also tried DMing other brands. And then also when I DM them, it's like they're not the right person. So they're mainly like the social media manager or just a social media um somebody to, I guess, work on the post and stuff like that. So they weren't necessarily the
Hmm.
person I would contact in regards to taking photos for the brand, especially like their product photos and stuff like that. Um, and then another one was just trying to go off of referrals. And those ones still worked a little bit, but it just wasn't as reliable for me.
Hmm. Yeah, and how has the your process kind of changed now since going through a program? And we've been working together what 12 plus months at this point. How's the process become like a bit more, I guess, refined and I guess systemized would be the word I like to use.
Yeah, the process is a lot nicer now just because like I have different magazines, different resources where I can try to list out all these different brands that I want to reach out to. And then once I create that list, I pop it into Apollo and I find the right person to contact from there. And then from there, I work on my cold pitching. So I use the templates that you created. So there's this Excel sheet that you have where you have all these different prompts that you could put into there, and
Hmm.
then you can kind of mix and match to create your own custom um what's
Yeah,
it
like email
your own custom
templates.
pitch. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's been helping me a lot. And that just because like there's that big struggle, where sometimes where you see like the blank canvas and you don't know what to paint, you don't know what to
Mhm.
draw on there, and then you kind of want to have something, but you don't know how to get started. So this is kind of like
Right.
that same way. So I'm looking at a blank email and I have no idea what to say to them. Don't have an idea of like the things that would help make my pitch more appealing. And so by having your templates has been helping me a lot to streamline that process to make it a lot faster. And then I can just keep on refining it more and more to suit my style, my taste, and I guess the clients that I'm reaching out to.
Hmm. Yeah, I love that. And then like after you've like reached out to someone and they've agreed to, because like what we teach in the program is to reach out to people and get them on a call with them to kind of like dig into kind of their problems. Were you doing that sales call step, that discovery step before the program, or was that something new that you implemented with the program? And if you were doing it before, how has it changed now with the program?
Yeah, so in terms of like the calls, I had that process before, and I had like a couple questions to ask them, kind of things to help refine the process of um, getting the right questions, so that way I can not verify them, but I can qualify them.
Mm,
And it was good before, but throughout everything, I always like to learn from other people to kind of refine my processes. So if I'm doing something that's taking me a little bit longer, or I'm not asking the right types of questions, I always like to go ahead and learn those different things. So since joining the Creative Biz Launch, I've been able to refine those a little bit more. I have different questions that I ask now, and then I try to what's it called? I try to implement those different workflows that you've created
mm.
to kind of help streamline some of these processes.
Yeah. Can we touch on that a bit? Because I know you mentioned earlier, like your the workflows that your workflows have changed a bit, like on the back and like the business system side of it.
Mhm.
How has the program kind of helped you with like running the entire business like as a whole?
Yeah, so with that one, um, I'm always trying to refine that process, and I wanted to make it so it's easier for the client. So especially when I start working on a project with them, I want to make it so that way they have like a nice portal to go ahead and look
Mm.
into and seeing the progress of the project. And also it helps keep me aligned with like, okay, this is where I'm at with this client. This is where I am in this step of the process with them. And with what you've created, like your Notion templates, along
Mm.
with the different the steps that you can put the client into,
Yeah,
it's just kind of helped streamline. Um, let's see, it's kind of helping
like the fulfillment
streamline.
side.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
kind of helping streamline everything so that way. Um, sorry, I'm trying to
Yeah,
think about
yeah,
this one.
they've got like a better customer experience, right? They
Yeah, exactly.
easier on their end. Yeah,
Definitely,
like
yeah.
one of the
Because
biggest things
like
I've
once they're
learned is like,
happy, they're an easy client to just keep on working with, and they're very
mhm.
satisfied.
Yeah, exactly. And I know you have like a bunch of like long-term clients there, so it's really important to like keep those clients happy, keep generating them results because that's how those like partnerships last like many, many months and like years as well, which is
Mm.
cool to hear that you've been able to kind of implement that stuff into the business. Um Now, with the so we've talked about like the business stuff a bit. How has your mindset changed around like running a creative business or just being like a creative entrepreneur over like the last 12 months compared to like the previous few years?
Would you mind saying that again? Sorry.
Like,
Kind
I guess your mindset around
of,
running like a creative business. Did you view yourself like previously as like a freelancer, or did you always like view yourself as like a production company slash like business owner?
prior to this one, I have all like put myself in the mindset of being a business owner.
Hmm.
But hearing this one
Right.
again through your program, it's kind of helped reaffirm that I am
Hmm.
a business owner. I'm not just a freelancer because a freelancer is pretty much a person who just hops from job to job to job, and
Yeah.
they don't have to worry about, I guess, keeping the business alive and keeping or growing your own business. As opposed to a business owner, you have
Hmm.
a team to manage as well. So other people to
Yeah.
help with your business growing, running more efficiently, and then just putting my mindset of like being an agency essentially versus just like an individual person.
Yeah. And like I've seen I see your like behind the scenes stories on Instagram all the time with working with food stylists and all that. So it's really cool that not only can you work with clients, but you can help other creatives work with clients as well, like by building this company that's more than just you. It's you're building a team and you're able to kind of provide other creatives with work, which is one of the coolest things that we're able to do once we get up and running here.
Exactly.
Awesome. Let's switch gears a bit here. And I want to ask you what's changed different like personally over the like last 12 months? Has there been like anything that's allowed you to have like more free time or been able to focus more on other things other than the business?
Yeah, I guess by working on the processes that you've kind of taught us throughout these time or throughout your course, and trying to create automations, those
Mm.
ones have helped me with more time to either focus on my business, focus on reaching out to other clients, or even just like taking a nice vacation. I can just kind of relax just because I had these processes in mind or had these processes going on. So that way,
Hmm.
um, it's not something I have to keep on maintaining and just keep on watching over step by step. So for example, kind of like the pitches. So if I send out the first email pitch, I don't have to worry about the follow-ups number two, number three, number four, etc. Just because it's already automated. And then once I
Yeah.
get the response from them, then I can go ahead and be like, okay, I hop back into this one and kind of refine them. I talk to them, finesse them, and try and schedule
Hmm.
that call.
Yeah.
Because prior to that one, I would have to write an email, set a reminder. Okay, follow up. Okay, type that email again, set a reminder. And then I was just like, it always brought me in and out of the business. Cause like,
Yeah.
especially if I'm in the middle of another project, though. So if I'm doing a photo shoot or if I'm editing photos, and then all of a sudden I need to hop back into, oh, I need to follow up with this other client. What was that client? What did I say to them?
Right.
What do they do? So yeah, it's just kind of nice to have those simple automations.
Yeah, keeping everything organized because yeah, I used to fall into the trap of like, okay, now I'm in like pitching mode, so I'm pitching for this week. Oh, I land a client, now I'm in fulfillment mode, and then you kind of like switch back and forth. But when everything is systemized, you're kind of always able to pitch like in the back end because you have these systems going out or these automations triggering emails to go out, and you don't have to really remember the follow-ups, and then you just kind of come in and deal with like all the responses, which is awesome to hear. And yeah, I think you just got back from like Hawaii, right? You were able to take some time off and take a little rest here towards the end of the year.
Yeah, definitely needed. Just kind of
Yeah.
help rejuvenate that creative juices.
Yeah, that's great that you're able to do that and like keep the business kind of running in the background during that. Well, cool. So we've been talking for a bit here. I know you're all about like investing in your education and you've taken like other
Mhm.
courses in the past and worked with coaches before. Is there anything you would tell someone who maybe hasn't worked with a coach or doesn't understand, hasn't like found the value in courses before? What advice
Mhm.
would you give those that are kind of like interested in this kind of thing but are on the fence about joining?
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of like my position a long time ago. I've wanted to go ahead and get a mentorship. I've wanted to follow somebody or take a course. I just didn't have either the money or I just couldn't find it worthwhile at that moment. But
Mhm.
things I kept hearing over and over again through other people, through other mentors, through other programs, they're always talking about how if you invest in something like a course or invest in a mentorship, or invest in a coach, then you're pretty much being able to jump over a few steps because you're learning a lot from them when they have lots of years of experience or they've worked with so many different types of clients and stuff like that. And they're taking all that knowledge and then giving it to you. So that way you don't have to go ahead and learn those ones all by yourself. All the different processes that they've refined, they've been able to build throughout the years, and sharing that with
Mhm.
you just makes it a whole lot easier just because you don't have to go through those different mistakes to try and clean up your own processes. So it's
Mhm.
very much like a skip the line kind of thing.
Yeah. What about someone who's interested in coaching or maybe taking a course, but they're not sure how to pick the one that's right for them? Like what are like the maybe two or three things you look for when you're deciding between maybe a few courses or a coach? What do you look from them? Is it like do you look for testimonials? Do you look for like their past experience? What are like the things you look for that like makes you think, okay, this person's actually got something worthwhile versus like this one doesn't seem as good?
Yeah, so for those ones, I look a lot at the testimonials. I try to see what other people have said about them, seeing how they enjoyed their course, their coaching, um, and then seeing what they've benefited from. Like,
Mhm.
how have how has their business or how has their what's it called? So, like, if they're a photographer, they want to learn how to take photos.
Right.
How has their teachings been able to help them improve?
Hmm.
So I look at the testimonials, and then I also, if they have free content, like on social media, YouTube, Instagram, etc., I like to go ahead and watch those ones just so I can see like, okay, this is their personality, this is their style,
Hmm.
and this is kind of the information that they're sharing for free. If all this
Yeah.
information is what they're sharing for free, how much better would it be under their actual course,
Mm.
like for their paid membership? And that's pretty much what I was like when I was following you. I followed you for a while. I used to watch all of your YouTube videos where you used to teach how to take photos and different
Yeah.
tips and tricks, and then you slowly transition into business tips. I was like, okay, this is
Hmm.
a little bit nicer. So I watched all those ones. You had a lot of good tips. I subscribed to your newsletters.
Hmm.
I found those really helpful. And then by the time I had some money saved up, I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and invest in myself again and go ahead and take Chris's course. So that's what I did. I signed up, and it has been very helpful and a game changer for a lot of my business processes.
And I love to hear that. Yeah, it's really interesting hearing people's kind of like decision making framework around these things. And one thing that I've started doing more as like a content creator and coach is providing as much free value as possible because I've realized that a lot of people will judge the paid stuff based on how good the free stuff is. So it's great you were saying that like a year ago you were finding the free stuff really valuable. I've almost like doubled down on what we're doing on those fronts and then like building out the course to be even better. It's cool to hear you say that. Okay, I think I'm I've asked you all the questions I had prepared for this call. Is there anything else you think someone watching this should know about the program
Hmm. Let's see.
or
There's
any like
definitely a lot
parting
of
words?
there's a lot of good gems in your course in the Creative Bizlon's course. Um, it's been super helpful. Like even if you are an established business and you have some income coming in, just learning from your experience, learning from what you've experienced so far, all the different tips and tricks, and different things to keep growing my business, um, has been super helpful. Like even if I have already those processes in mind or in plan, I've had them going on. Seeing another person's perspective has been super helpful just because my perspective might have been nice, but then let's say you added a few more things to refine those ones up a little bit more. I'm like, okay, let me add some of these things. So I'm kind of cherry picking from all these different courses, cherry picking from all these different things that you're teaching and putting them into my own. So I'm kind of building my own processes, which is really nice.
Yeah, taking stuff and then like putting into your own thing. Yeah, I love that. And we have like people from all sorts of ranges of their business. Some people are just starting at zero. Some people are already well established and have clients, but want a few different like systems. And that seems like where you came from, which is great to hear. Okay, last question. I forgot I should have asked this earlier, but how have you found I guess the community aspect of the program? Because that's something that we've been trying to build out more over the past like 6 months or so, building in more community, building in more coaching into it as well on the weekly calls, because right now, like everyone has a course pretty much. So we're trying to focus on not just like providing really great business systems and education, but also like connecting with other creatives and like pooling together our knowledge and like pulling out pieces that we think could benefit the most. So what have you found useful about the, I guess, coaching and the community inside of Creative Biz Launch?
Yeah, the community part is really nice. I love being able to talk with the other people over there. The weekly calls that we have has been super helpful. Like even if I don't have questions to ask, it's always nice to hear what other people are asking. And then kind of sometimes I might not know to ask those questions or I might not think about them, but then if somebody else asks them, it's really nice to hear that and then hearing your answers to them. And also every week, like, have your little, I guess, tips and tricks for
Hmm.
that week or different topics to discuss.
Hmm.
Just other things to keep on building up that education that we're learning always more and more.
Hmm.
And then what else?
The
Oh yeah, just
accountability. I see you posting every week in
yes.
the accountability thread, which is always great to see.
Yeah, that's also really nice seeing the accountability. So it kind of helps keep me like in mind, keep me in check of like, okay,
Yeah.
these are things that I need to go ahead and take care of this week. And have I completed them? Have I slacked a little bit, or do I need to kind of do those ones or repeat those ones again into the next week? So
Hmm.
it's kind of nice to keep track of all that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great to hear. Well, that's all I had for this. Anything you want to close off with here?
Um, no, I think
No?
I'm pretty much yeah. I
All right. Awesome.
think I've
Well,
said it
thank you
all.
so much for taking the time here. Again, if do you want to plug your socials in case anyone wants to check you out here?
Yeah, sure. If you want to go ahead and check out my website, you could check it out at misahungry.com, which is Misa and then hungry.com. You can follow me on Instagram at misa.hungry. And yeah. And then also,
Awesome.
I guess LinkedIn, Sean Misa. All
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Sean. Appreciate you taking the time today. And we'll talk soon.
right.
Okay,
Thanks, Chris.
take care.